Hey you guys, so I'm filming this now because I probably won't have time to tomorrow since everything's happening early in the morning. And sorry for the steering wheel, it's going to happen. But something's going on with my son, and I kind of touched on it a little bit in my 23-week bump day. Right now I'm 24 weeks. It's Tuesday, and this Friday I'll be 25 weeks. So at my 23-week appointment, I went in, everything seemed normal, and the doctor came in. And at my practice I go to, my OBGYN or whatever, there's like 3 main doctors, I believe. And then there's a bunch of PAs and there's a bunch of ultrasound techs. But I think there's 3 main doctors, and the main one who owns the practice, I've never gotten him before. So he came in and I was kind of freaked out because I'm in my 6th month of pregnancy now. I've been going since I was 5 weeks pregnant, and I've never gotten him out of all my appointments each month. And so that kind of scared me because I was like, okay, if he's here, something's wrong. And he came in and he started talking to me, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, you know. And he started looking at baby, and the ultrasound techs left. So that scared me too. And so they left, and it was just him and me and my grandma. And he's looking at the baby, and he's talking me through it, saying he has to check something with baby. He told me what was up. He was like, you see this space right here? And I'd noticed it, but I didn't think no big deal of it, you know, because if it was something they would tell me, and obviously they did. He has this really big oval shaped dark spot. And I had noticed it, but I didn't think much of it. And he was showing me, he goes, do you see this spot? And I'm like, yeah. And honestly, it looks pretty big. It looks pretty big. And it wasn't on the other side. And then he was like, this is where his kidney should be, or his stomach. And he was like, I'm thinking it's the stomach with just fluid in it. But if it is the stomach, it's too big. It's way too big. Because he showed me on ultrasound how big it should be. It's way bigger than that. And he was saying, but if it's the kidney, then the fluid isn't coming out. And if it's the kidney, then the kidney must be dilated as well, because it looks huge and it's not on the other side. And he's like, then the fluid, it has fluid in it. And basically, I forgot the actual term, it's hydrophenosis, and he didn't actually give me the term, just what I found on Google and other people are telling me. It seems like that's what it might be, but it could be completely wrong. And it's where the kidney, his urine is backed up into his kidney, and it's not flowing out right. And so the doctor's like, it could just be his stomach with fluid, but if it's his stomach, it's too big. And if it's his kidney, it's blocked up. And he was like, but I don't think it's his kidney because he still has amniotic fluid, which a lot of the amniotic fluid is the baby's urine and stuff, and it's important to help the baby's lungs develop. And he goes, but the baby still has fluid, and if the baby didn't have as much fluid, then that would make sense with the kidney thing. And so everything's just confusing to him because he thinks it's the stomach, but if it's the stomach, it's too big. And if it's the kidney, it's blocked up. But then he doesn't think it's the kidney because he still has fluid. But then again, he didn't say this, but I was thinking, well, my baby does have his other kidney, so it would still make sense to me that he has fluid. And at my 19-week appointment, the tech or whatever had mentioned to me that he has enough fluid, but to make sure I'm drinking my water because he could use a little bit more, which could also be hinting towards a clogged kidney. It's just all over the place, really super confusing. And I was trying not to freak out. I was kind of scared, but I wasn't sure exactly what that meant. And I was kind of comforted by the fact that he does have his other kidney. But I was just trying not to freak out until I saw the specialist, because my doctor was telling me I could go to the specialist and it could be gone, and that he sees it a lot or whatever. And so then of course I went home, and I was kind of in this weird state of emotion where yes, it hit me, but I didn't really know what to think of it. But I'm someone who, it's really hard for me to like truly feel what I'm feeling with people watching me. And I was with my grandma, and I told Gio what happened, and we were kind of sad about it together. But as soon as the next day when Gio went to work, I just cried and I cried and I cried about it. And I looked it up online, and thankfully everything seems reassuring with it. A lot of them grow out of it before birth, and if they don't, a lot of them will grow out of it after birth. And it's rare that it like affects their life long term, or that they'll need surgery, or although there are those cases. But I don't really know until my appointment tomorrow with the specialist. So my doctor did refer me to a specialist, and that appointment is tomorrow in the morning. Although I'm pretty relieved, although I still haven't seen the specialist, that so far it seems like it will be okay. I'm still pretty torn about it, you know, because he is my baby, and you just want your child to be fine. And although he does have his other kidney, I want him, I mean, I love him regardless, of course, but for his sake, I want him to have like every single thing that his body's supposed to, and for it to work the way it was intended to. Hey guys, so today was the appointment with the specialist, and I'm in the car again because I've been so busy these past 2 days that this is the only chance. While I'm on my way to go pick him up from work, I'm going to tell you guys how it went. So if I look a little bit crazy, it's because I just woke up from a nap, and I woke up like 2 minutes ago. So basically, baby is okay. Thank goodness. I'm so happy. But my doctor was right. Baby does have fluid in his kidneys. The specialist showed me that big black circle, that, or like oval I was talking about. It was his stomach, and I guess it's not like abnormally large or anything, because they didn't say anything about his stomach at all. Just like, oh, this is his stomach. And then his kidney, like, his kidney was not even what my like normal doctor thought it was. So my doctor was confused, and he told me he was confused about like what was what, because I guess it can be hard to tell on ultrasound. But that was his stomach, so it was fine. And it is his left kidney, I believe, which is causing the problems. And so she said that for it to be normal, a kidney can be dilated up to a 4 for it to be normal, and his kidney is dilated up to a 5, so it's pretty mild. It's barely like dilated past what is normal. And his right one, I believe she said, looks normal to her. And she said that the reason for this fluid blockage is that with little boys, it happens most common in boys, it's harder for boys to pee. Like, their bladder has to work harder. And she says that there's like, I think she said called it a tourniquet, like to like explain it. When he goes pee, his bladder, since he's a boy, you know, it has to go up and out of the penis. And she was saying that boys have to work a little bit harder, and his bladder has to squeeze a little bit harder for the pee to come out. And that since it's working so hard, some of it backwashes back up into his kidneys, so it's not draining properly. But it is small, it's not like a lot. And she was saying that she's not very worried about it. She does think that he will grow out of it before birth, most likely. And she was saying that it's something that is pretty genetic. She said that if you have any family members that have had UTIs, urinary tract infections, as a child, that it's like a 10% genetic chance that your baby can get it. So although 10% seems really low, she made it seem like it's mostly a genetic thing. And she was asking if like anybody on my side or his side of the family had urinary tract infections as a child. And not that we know of off the top of our heads, we can't remember anything. The doctor was saying that a lot children don't get UTIs unless it's like something like that, or she said if they're playing with themselves. She says that children just usually don't get UTIs, and before they didn't know a lot about it in children, and now she said that they know that UTIs in children can be like a sign that they had this in utero, I believe is what she was saying. And so that's what it was. She said, I have to go back in 6 weeks to see if it is worsening. And even if he is born with it at a 5, I'm sure it's something that he will grow out of, because that tourniquet loosens over time. And then when they get really old, like an old man, it loosens too much. So it's just something that usually loosens anyways. So since it's mild and it usually loosens up, he should be okay. But she said if it does worsen, then we will need to talk about proper like birthing plans after birth for the baby, like what will happen with baby after birth and that problem. But for now, all in all, she said he is okay and that it is mild, that it's normal in boys. She isn't very concerned. Baby also now weighs 1 pound and 10 ounces, and at my last appointment, which was a week and a day ago, 8 days ago, he was 1 pound and 7 ounces. I am so happy to be able to end this video with mostly good news. The doctor also did mention that his amniotic fluid is good, that it looks nice, which makes me so happy because I really try hard to make sure I'm drinking a lot of water and not too many drinks that dehydrate me. I'll update again in 6 weeks when I go to my next specialist appointment, which hopefully will be my last one with her. Although it wasn't very like serious compared to other things that could have happened to him. He is my baby, and like just being told that something's wrong and that you have to go to a specialist, it's a lot of stress and it freaks you out. And I had so much mom guilt thinking that I caused this somehow because maybe I drank too much coffee or I didn't drink enough water or I did this or this, although I know it wasn't me. And I was just going through a lot of emotions, and although it's something pretty right now pretty small, it feels huge because he's my son. So I didn't really want to talk about it until I was 100% sure, but now since we know more of what's going on, I feel more comfortable sharing with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video since it did have a good outcome. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. And also I hit 200 subscribers, which is insane. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm gonna go be safe and finish driving.